What is up, Culture Junkies? Welcome back to Culture Junkies Live. I'm your boy Kenshiro. Episode 215 is in effect. We're talking the Immortal Snyder Cut, the movie that just seemingly just won't die, much to my very humble chagrin. Across from me is the very dapper GQ. To the right of me is the great Dadakuji. And from remote is Fallen Marvel. What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Doing all right. How's everybody outside in the studio?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. You think you're good?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I know nothing.
I thought you were supposed to be great.
Right, at all times.
I think I'm good.
You think you're
My
good?
eyeball won't
So
stop.
should we call him the good Daidakuji now?
The good Daidakuji.
Not the great Daidakuji,
I think I'm good, Daidakuji.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a little bit long.
I think I'm good, Daidakuji. I think we need an abbreviation for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. Anyway, guys, we got a great show in store for you today. So let's hit the ground running, run the gamut.
Run the gamut. Run the gamut.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
GQ, what you got?
Well, apparently Sony, people that make the PlayStation, they decided that they were going to postpone their event that they were going to announce the PlayStation and show it off, show some games and all that good stuff, in lieu of the whole Black Lives Matter movement and protests that are going on. Because for idiots, because my father was a cop, so I'm not really going to go too hard on that. But for idiots, former cops, so basically they're scum and civilians now.
Scum. I love the scum.
Well, it's the truth, man. It's the truth.
I love the scum part.
I'm going to be 100% real. I'm going to make this short.
Yeah.
You guys know my dad. You knew my dad. He would have never needed to do no crap like that with nobody. It's like you're trained to take people down, restrain them, put them in a car. That's the end of the story. You don't got to sit on their neck for 9 minutes or whatever. You don't got to hold nobody down. It's like, that's just stupid. So I'm glad they moved it up to murder 2.
Yeah.
They deserve, throw the book at them, put them under the jail, as they say, dude. Because that's just
why
that's
even
dumb.
waste the taxpayers' money? Just do it now.
Well, you got to follow.
They got to do.
They got to follow through.
I know.
Here's the thing: when you're dealing with, and this is true, when you're dealing with a law enforcement conviction, it's got to be airtight.
Absolutely.
Because you mess that up. You mess that up, it's going to set a precedent across the country.
You are very right.
They need to get that one right. So I'm going to pass it off to the good Dadakuji.
The good Dadakuji. I think I'm good, Dadakuji.
I think he thinks he's good.
I think he's good. What you got, man?
Well, my favorite video game maker of all time, and no, that's not Nintendo. Even though I like Nintendo, see that right there? Let's call it a Nintendo Switch. I like Nintendo. Have since I was a little babe.
Get on with it. Come on.
Now I'm going to dog. Rushing me. The Sega is going in their 60th anniversary and the 30th anniversary for what is the Sega Game Gear. They're coming out with a micro mini version of the Game Gear that's going to have 4 different colors, and each one is going to supposedly have different games on it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Each one is going to have 4 games on it, but not all of them going to have the same game on it.
Wait. So now you got to go around collecting different Game Gears?
Hey,
Got to get them all.
Gotta get them all.
I wonder which one's going to be the rare one, because there's always a rare one.
Right.
Well, from what I remember from the list that I saw, the standard black one is the one that comes with Sonic the Hedgehog. And then there's another one that I think is red that comes with Sonic and Tails. Then there's a yellow one that I think comes with mainly RPGs, and they're Japanese RPGs in Japanese. So it's like, that's not really going to help nobody. And then I think I forgot what the final color might have been blue, and that one has Gunstar Heroes on it. So
Okay, that's the one I want. That's the one I want.
It's essentially they're spreading it across.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I want all 4 of them.
And again, I already know you're gonna get all 4. So here you go.
I don't know if I'm going to get them, because
why he's even playing? You know he's going to get it, right?
I'm going to get all 4, but I don't know if I'm going to get
them. I said I want to get all 4. See, the thing about me, there's 2 types of collectors out there.
Yeah, there's me.
There's collectors, yeah, exactly. Where I was getting at. There's collectors that have plunked down anything as long as they want it, whatever. You're selling it, I'll give you whatever money you want for it. I'm not that collector. I'm the type of collector that's like, okay, that looks like a good deal. I want it, because not everything, in my honest opinion, some things just sit there, right? And they look pretty.
Right.
And I don't want to pay the money for it. I'm just
okay.
I was thinking about my Panzer Dragoon Saga back in the day, 20 some odd years ago. I get paid $70, what I thought was expensive at the time for Panzer Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
Now that copy runs for $600.
Exactly.
And
aren't you glad you have it?
Yeah, I'm glad I got it now, but most definitely. But $70 is cool. $600, not so cool. Because there's people out there that plunk that down in a heartbeat. I guarantee if I put that up for sale, somebody, boom, it'll sell.
But okay, real quick, so we don't drag it on because I know Kenshiro and Fallen both have something. But on that Game Gear thing, two things. They haven't even said if they're going to bring it out over here. They better, but who knows?
Oh.
And then second, that's not going to go down to your $20 point.
No, it's not.
Not anytime soon, because I think what's going to happen, if they do bring it out over here, it's going to be limited, and then you already know. You better get them as you see them.
I mean, there's some things because there's a limited run Blaster Master 1 and 2 collectors thing for $130, and I want it. Because you get Blaster Master 1, 2, you get some inert cartridges that are NES cartridges with the art for them on there, some statues, some other stuff, and I'm just like, but I don't need it, but I want it. But I don't need it, but I want it. So I know how I feel.
He's gonna get it. Well, the only thing I want to know,
probably am gonna get it.
The only thing I want to know is how many batteries is this thing gonna take? It's gonna take 6 batteries.
Hold on. It says it's too small to take 6 batteries. It's supposed to take 6. I'm sorry, it's supposed to take 2, but who knows how long they're gonna last?
Right.
That's gonna be the thing.
Them boys will eat them batteries.
Right.
Last thing before we move on, though.
Yeah.
What I wish they would have did is not so micro. I wish it was the size of a Game Boy Advance, the original Game Boy Advance. I think that would have been cool because everybody knows the freaking goddamn Game Gear is almost as big as this thing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But that micro it fits like in the palm of your hand. Literally doesn't. I'm like, that's a little bit tiny.
Yeah,
Pretty small.
All right, Kenshiro, what you got?
Yeah, so my thing is, and this is, I mean, everybody's kind of been keeping track of this whole Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman deal. So now today, they're coming out and they're saying they're not even going to. They said they were going to recast Kate Kane, which would have been just fine. Now they're saying they're not going to do Kate Kane at all. They're just going to create a brand new character that's going to be Batwoman now. Like, okay, the problem is that Kate Kane, there's never been anybody else but Kate Kane that's been Batwoman. So that's number one problem. Number two is, why do you need to do this? Why can't you just recast Kate Kane? If you can have Eartha Kitt, Lee Merriweather, Julie Newmar play Catwoman back in the 60s, and it's supposed to be the same Catwoman then, you can damn sure do somebody else's Kate Kane today. This is ridiculous. So if they're going to do this, just cancel the damn show. Just cancel it. It's already in one season. You're not going to hurt anybody if you just get rid of it. Just cancel the season. That's just my thought on it. Fallen, what you got?
Well, somewhat in the same vein as Warner Brothers, apparently HBOmax has apparently, according to analysts, has been stumbling a little bit out of the gate, and they're not exactly getting the subscription numbers that they were initially hoping for launch. Now, it's only been out for roughly a week and a half so far, but there's been reports of some people not necessarily being able to stream certain things or whatever, like it's not streaming right or whatever. Some people are having issues with it, and other people are saying that there's not enough new content on it. Obviously, I think the only thing that they have new is the Looney Tunes thing or whatever. I don't know.
And who's paying for that?
Right, and I know that it's on HBO Max is on the higher end of some of the other streaming services. I think like the whatever minimum is like $15, and
a month.
Yeah,
it's $14.99 a month. You get a lot of shit though.
And I think another thing, I believe it's confusing a lot of other people because you still have like the other HBO platforms too, the HBO Go, the HBO Now, and all that stuff, and they're still intent on keeping all of that.
See, what's weird is, like, speaking on that, Marvel, I had HBO Go, I think, or Now. I forget which one is one. One is if you already have HBO. One is if you're just doing the streaming service, right? And on my phone, it updated to HBO Max. I did not download it. I did nothing. It automatically updated by itself. So I think they got rid of one of them.
Now hold on. How much was you paying for the old one?
It was still $14.99 a month.
Okay, so maybe they combined it. Maybe they upgraded it. All I got to say is, until the Snyder Cut hits it, I don't care.
Yeah,
because they don't have anything I don't own. You got to have something that I can't get in order for me to get your service, because I got way too much physical media and movies and stuff that I love already.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only thing that they have really looking forward to as far as like recent content, and I'm not sure of the date, is the second season of what was the show? Doom Patrol. they have that coming sometime, probably like in the near future. And I think overall, I just think like a lot of people are really like kind of pointing the finger at AT&T with this whole thing. So
Well,
I'm,
straight
I'm,
out of
think,
the
I'm
chat,
thinking.
yeah.
So yeah, I think AT&T is flexing their parent company muscles with WB right now.
Speaking of AT&T, something that I did read that they also did is people who are of AT&T subscribers, I think for internet, if they have HBO Max, their streaming limit is gone. They don't have a monthly limit anymore. They're allowing them to stream as much as they want.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, DBO Kink, basically brought up that HBO Max is free with his AT&T internet, so he wouldn't have had it any other way, essentially. So,
Right.
And I'm thinking of switching to AT&T.
Yeah,
I'm not
about
their
it.
internet's
I love
trash,
my
man.
Comcast.
So-
I don't have any problem with them. But if AT&T, if I'm getting the same internet and it's cheaper, then I might do it.
it'd be worth it if it's fiber in your area.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
So that was Run the Gamut. I think we did a pretty good job keeping it under. We had a lot more topics to talk about, so I'll give us a little grace period. We still hit our mark, so let's move on to the next topic, shall we?
We shall.
For the culture.
So, 38 years ago, tomorrow, was the release, June 4th, 1982, of what some people would consider one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, and that would be Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. It is, without question, the greatest Star Trek film of all time, and it stands up, even all these years later, as the most entertaining, the best Star Trek show or Star Trek movie of all time. So I kind of wanted to, talk about it with the guys, even those that don't really like Star Trek, like this movie, and there's really good reasons for it. But I wanted to chop it up with you guys and everybody out there in the chat to kind of go over our recollections of what makes this movie such a standout over the course of the years. GQ, I'm gonna start with you. What makes Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan stand out for you?
That rich Corinthian leather, man.
Talking about that chest they made out of his Corinthian leather.
That wasn't real, man. That was
no.
his real chest, man.
Yeah,
Come on now.
No, the whole movie was actually really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's and as a kid, it's like, okay, you watched it, you just like, okay, where's the action at? Where's the action at? As
Right.
I got older, I could appreciate the chess game that was literally going on in this film, because what was cool about it is neither Kirk or Khan ever met each other physically.
physically,
So it was
yes.
just like, it's like the entire movie is both antagonist and protagonist is like, I'm on my ship, you're on your ship.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was a very cool just to see that. And then I love the whole thing where, they beam down to the Genesis planet or whatever, and he's talking to Spock in code, and he's just like,
Yes.
how long is this going to take? And he's like, we're going to be down for about two
Two
days.
days.
I'm like,
Yeah.
like 2 days. I'm like,
Like,
man, this
shit.
is like, man, whatever. And then
Right.
2 hours later, we good. It's just like,
Hey,
Like,
Spock, it's
oh,
2
that
hours.
was-
You ready?
I was like, dude, that was sweet.
Yeah.
And then lowering their shields and all of that stuff that was done in that movie was so it was just on point.
Yeah.
And to me, for the original crew outside of Undiscovered Country, that was the best Star Trek with the original crew. Because
Agreed.
all the other ones in between, like, okay, 4 was fun because they came to Earth. They finally came to Earth.
Yeah.
But like 3 was like long and boring.
It was.
like,
Even though Christopher Lloyd was great.
Christopher Lloyd is a Klingon, man. I don't know.
That was great. Come on.
He
That was great. Come on.
Come on, dog.
Great, come
All I
on.
could see was every time he's sitting there in that chair, like, Marty. That's what I was half expecting him to just break off back into Doc Brown or something, dude. Like, it was.
He almost did it a couple
That's what I'm
times. too.
saying.
Yeah,
So
he almost did it.
him as a Klingon was
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
But Ricardo Montalban as Khan was great.
Oh, masterful.
Brought back a villain all the way from the old TV show. That was cool. But I'm gonna pass the baton because I could
Yeah.
talk about that all day long, even though I'm not a major Trekkie fan.
Okay, no, that's fine, and that's fine. And you gave some really great points. I appreciate your perspective. Fallen Marvel, you watched this movie, I'm sure. What made it great
yeah.
to you?
I've honestly never seen it in full entirety, but I have looked
You
up like different.
disappoint me, sir.
I'm not. I've to be honest, I was late to the game when it comes to Star Trek like that. So like, I wasn't really like into Star Trek like to that.
And that's fine.
degree.
But even most
So-
people say that if you're gonna watch one Star Trek movie, you watch that one.
That's true.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
But the thing is, I have like revisited like through other people's points perspectives with it,
Yeah.
and obviously everybody has a lot of great stuff to say. Obviously, William Shatner's iconic yell. Obviously, so
yeah,
right.
That's the only reason why people think that movie's great.
But I mean, I know there was like a lot of significant stuff in it. Like, wasn't like something like with Spock like dies in it?
Yeah,
or something?
correct.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
So like that was like a huge thing for a lot
It was
of people.
it was the swerve that no one saw coming.
Right.
And it, when you think of things that cannot happen, right? In most IPs, you don't ever kill off your most popular character. And Spock, more than anybody else, was the most popular Star Trek character ever. So
there was a guy named Kirk. I mean,
but no,
Kirk Fu. Come on, dude.
But Spock was more popular than Kirk. He was. Spock was the Spock
a certain
was the guy.
crowd.
Yeah.
Spock was that Bilbo Baggins singer.
No, Spock was the guy. Like a lot of people like Spock more than they even like Kirk. Even though Kirk was popular, but Spock was the one that carried it for a lot of people.
You've been talking to.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, go ahead with your point, Fallen. I didn't mean to take over. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. You're fine, man. It's just
you getting
like,
in the chat, by the way. A lot of people are like, "Come on, man, really?" They're like, "Come on, you haven't watched this movie now. Come on now." Go ahead.
Look, it is what it is. Okay, it's a lot of Star Trek stuff I still haven't seen. Okay, that's just
and that's fine.
That's just among the pile,
and that's fine.
So
that's fine.
So like, I do just so you know, I do plan on going back and watching it in full.
Do so.
Skip number 1.
Yeah, you can skip one.
V'ger one.
Yeah, you can skip one.
But I mean, from my overall idea of it, from what I've seen of it or whatever, it definitely looks like a very entertaining movie. I do like the people that was in it and stuff like that. And at one point I did revisit the original series or whatever, and like I actually wound up liking it a little bit more than I thought I would. So I at some point I'm gonna revisit it. At some point.
Dido, do I dare? Turn it over to you.
Of course. I mean, I have an opinion of the movie, but I just don't think it's the greatest one. And it's shocking.
Blasphemy.
For whatever strange reason, like when I watch it, like I get the chess game you guys were talking about, but at the same time, it wasn't too much of a chess game, more as of Khan. He had everything planned out of what he was going to do. I mean, how he was going to, he controlled Chekhov. He controlled the people that's gone there, had him do his bidding, had him do all this because he had years to plan stuff out. And it was just like, it fell in order. I was more entertained by Star Trek 4. I was more entertained by Undiscovered Country. And Undiscovered Country, like a lot of people like Khan, and I don't think it was just for the chess game. They like it because they did kill freaking Spock. And like for whatever reason, when movies don't end on a happy ending, people think they're the greatest movie. I mean, you can name 2 of them off the top of my head, Empire Strikes Back and that one, because they didn't have happy endings, and so therefore they're the greatest ones in the series. And personally, I don't quite understand that thought process. Just because it didn't end on a happy note, they're the greatest ones. It's like for me, and Avengers Infinity War was another one, and that doesn't take away from like how the movie's doing or whatever. It's just like I like the movie. I'd have to rewatch it again because it's been more than 15 years since I've seen it since.
What?
More than likely.
Okay. All right.
But it's been more than 15 years since I've seen Undiscovered Country and Star Trek 4 as well.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've sat down and watched them. And I'm not saying that they're bad at all. But, that's probably the one that stands out the most, mainly because it ended on a bad,
on a sour note.
Yeah. And I think that's something that sticks in people's minds. Whenever a movie does that, it's more heavily weighed, and therefore they think it's like the best one because they remember it more of them. And I just don't see it as being the best. That just doesn't compute with me.
Okay.
And not saying that the movie's bad because I think they're great. 1 was garbage. 3, I don't even remember. 5 was garbage. But 4, 6, 2, 4, and 6, like we all say, we're like exactly, we're the best ones. And then even First Contact when it came out, because that would be technically 8 if you want to put it in there, was also really good because Generations was just okay.
I like Generations only because of the bridge and the gap between the 2 crews.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of neat. But one other thing is like out of out of all of them, like I guess two sticks with me mainly because like I have a signed copy of two signed by Ricardo
Man, that's
Montalban
freaking awesome.
shortly before he
Oh,
passed.
cool.
Yeah, because we were out in California for Fantasticon. Holy crap, I haven't heard that name in a while. We were out there in California, and he was doing a signing at Universal City. So it was like, well, since he's here and we're going to interview him, let me go buy the DVD since they just brought it out, and then I got it signed by him. So
Nice.
like
That's cool.
Nice.
that was cool. But
Nice.
I understand 100% what you're saying about the ending on a low note because that, like you said, that is why it sticks out. It's like, but and the funny thing is they try to do it again with part 3,
and it just didn't work.
and it didn't work because it was like nobody cared about David.
Yeah.
Like man, nobody even cared. Like Kirk has a son.
Nobody
is
really
dead?
liked him in 2 anyway. But,
Nobody,
you know,
exactly. He was
right.
annoying.
So bringing up the point, what you said about how it doesn't compute for you, and you misunderstood. I think you misconstrued a couple of things. Well, one thing really is that you're saying Khan had years to plan for it. No, he didn't. Like literally.
How did he not have years? He was fucking boiling over Kirk.
Listen to what I'm saying. He did not expect to ever be found. He even told Chekhov that he was like, "You didn't expect to find me. You expected this other planet. You thought I was at one and you were at another." So he had to come up with that plan on the spot.
Do I remember? Weren't they a distress signal? They were
No,
because I'm trying to remember how they even found them. That's the thing.
Chekhov was on.
They were
Chekhov
supposed
was
to
on
be
the
going to City
Reliant.
Alpha 5. He was at City Alpha 6.
They were scouting planets for the Genesis test.
Right, but here's where you're wrong. Khan had been thinking about it and planning it since he got dropped off.
Yeah.
And found out, because he said, like, my wife or all these other people died and I survived, because again, he was genetically engineered to be a perfect soldier. So he had been planning the second the second they showed up. So Khan was ahead of the game like that. He was playing 3-dimensional chess in Star Trek, which has 3-dimensional chess. So I ain't gonna run over too much more because we could do a whole show about Star Trek.
No, we could. No, and but I wrote a piece about my memories or why Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan was such a great movie on culturejunkies.net. It's coming out tomorrow morning. So make sure you subscribe to our or follow us on Facebook and all our social media, and you'll see it, you'll read it. One of the things that absolutely made it great was Ricardo Montalban. I mean, nobody else can quote Moby Dick in space and actually have it like really come through as well as he did. Like his con was great, but not only that, but the music of James Horner, who was pretty much an unknown at that point, made the movie really, really great. So I won't belabor the point. I want to move on. We'll keep it moving to This Week in Gaming, but do make sure that you look out for my article on Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. It's coming out tomorrow morning. I think around 9:30. So look out for that.
This Week in Gaming. Hey, everybody. That was This Week in Gaming. Now, had some great games that were available this week throughout the years. Starting off with the Star Wars trilogy on the Super Nintendo. My favorite out of those was the original one, but each one of those games essentially came out 1 year apart, essentially one day, moving forward a year apart, but all within the same week. Also had Ninja Gaiden 2 on there for the Xbox 360, Tekken 7, which is still a classic fighting game to this day right now. Played just a little bit over the Sunday. Also, you had Virtua Fighter 5.
My personal favorite.
Which nobody really
Mr.
plays on
Furious.
purpose anymore.
Shut up.
Love
then,
Virtua
uh,
Fighter.
Look, man.
then you had Tomb
Personally,
Raider
I missed that
Anniversary.
series.
I missed that. I missed the hell out of Virtual Fighter, bro.
All right,
But-
so
Right.
y'all in the chat, let us know what y'all favorites are. We're going to talk about them. But hey, I'm going to start off with Kenshiro. I already know that you want to talk about Virtual Fighter.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna let Fallen Marvel take it from you.
Wait a minute. You just said you was going. Wow.
It's called a swerve, man.
Wow.
It's called a swerve. Fallen,
Wow.
out of
Okay.
that list, what was your favorite?
Wow.
Well, if we're going to talk about what my favorites are, I think I technically have two favorites, and they're both in the fighting genre, which are both Tekken and Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter is one that I remember quite fondly, and it was basically one of the front runners for 3D 3D fighters, and it's ironic that we also have Tekken because Tekken kind of followed suit and sort of ran with it, and is still relevant to this day. Not saying Virtua Fighter is not, but we haven't seen Virtua Fighter in quite some time.
There's a
Yeah.
reason- there's a
So,
reason for that.
yeah, I know. I definitely know. Like it's I'm pretty sure
Did
it's
this
some kind
dude
of like
King
weird
Takeem
licensing
call Virtual
thing.
Fighter the Bud Light of 3D tournament fighters?
Dude,
Oh, Lord.
that's
Disrespect.
You know what?
that is disrespectful.
You know
Like,
what?
no tomorrow.
Disrespect.
All right,
It probably takes so much longer because they put way more intensive care into their game.
Okay, but here's the issue with Virtua Fighter, and what's up to Big Sev over down there coming from the
Old Head Tech is back too, over on Twitch.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah.
Well, really awesome to see you guys. But here's the issue with Virtua Fighter. Fun game, great, easy to pick up, years to master. But if you go from Virtua Fighter 4
Don't tell me.
to
I know
Virtua
what you're gonna
Fighter
say. I know
4
what you're gonna
Evolution,
say.
Yeah.
and you drop 2 characters on me, and then still want me to pay the full price for the game again. You doing it Street Fighter style. That's old school Street Fighter right there, and that's not even giving us 4 characters at a time.
Yeah,
That's,
But they're
was like
update-
$20.
They're not only giving you more characters, but if you're talking about
BF4 Evo was $20.
that is true. It was because I thought you were
Here's
gonna
the
say
thing.
from like 3 to 4. It's like they
oh no,
they
3 to
changed.
4, 3 to 4. Again, Taka Arashi messed up the whole daggone game.
He sure
with 3.
did.
That was just a bad idea.
Yeah, it was.
But the problem I've always had with Virtua Fighter, and it really comes down to the fact that yes, they put a ton of everything into those characters because they've got movesets that are ridiculous. But at the same time, I've been playing Sarah for all these games. I've been playing Pi for all these games. It's like,
There's no change.
Yeah, can I get some
Yeah.
new?
Yeah.
Like
There's
beyond like
and
one
I
or
will,
two
I
people?
will grant you
should be
this.
playing with that
Tekken
Vanessa.
has taken
I
what
played with Vanessa.
Tekken has taken what Virtual Fighter used to do really well, and they've improved upon it to the point that they're much better at it than Virtual Fighter is
Well,
at.
even Tekken,
You know?
like, okay, well, Tekken has evolved in the sense that
Yeah.
Anna and Nina used to be clones of each other.
Yep.
Now they can
Yep.
play completely differently from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Kuma and Panda, I think, are the only two that are actually still clone characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the clone characters that have, even King and Armor King are completely different than
Really?
each other now.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
they're both wrestlers, but Armor King is like a brawler. More so than King used to be, because like
He's
King
a
is
grappler.
King
Yeah.
is the straight grappler, but he can play like a brawler.
Right.
Armor King is like, nah, dude, we taking this completely to the streets.
Okay.
Like all his moves are just destructive. But
Nice.
moving it over to in Ninja Gaiden 2 for the 360, that game, that was Itagagi's masterpiece. That game was
shining
so well done. Bloody, destructive, just everything about that game was like
No camera
flawless.
issues.
Yeah, that game was beautiful.
Because dude, Ninja Gaiden's camera was terrible.
Oh, it was. It was.
The
But,
camera was so bad.
but Ninja Gaiden 2 was
Yeah.
so well done. But what do you guys think? What was y'all take on that?
Ninja Gaiden 2 was really well done, like you said. One that I would love to talk about, and I think they were talking about a little bit earlier in the chat, was the Super Star Wars trilogy games. They basically came out on June 4th 1992, no, 1992, 93, 94. You know, 1 year after another, they all came out. The best one in that series was without doubt Super Star Wars. It was the first one.
Yeah, the other two were whatever.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. I don't know what the hell happened there. Like that one wasn't
they had
that
less
fun
than
to
a year
me.
to make it.
Yeah, that one wasn't that fun to me. Like the first one was really good.
The first one was unfair in a lot of ways, though.
It was. The second one, I loved having the lightsaber, of course. Some of the other levels, you know, with Han or even Chewie weren't as good, but the Luke levels were great. But still, the first game was so much better than
that's the
anything
only one
they
that
ever
got
did.
remade on PlayStation. Not remade, but they re-released it on PlayStation 4.
It's because it was the best one.
It was the best one.
It was the one that again, it was the first because they took their time with it to make it, you know, memorable. Tomb Raider Anniversary was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But
Wolverine is like, me and GQ are the two best King Tekken 7 players on Earth. I don't know.
All right.
Will might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I wonder if Will is still playing Tekken. Because when I see him on Xbox, he's playing like Destiny and a lot of first-person shooters
he's
and whatnot.
retired.
You probably are.
boredom.
Yeah.
And then what was the other game? It wasn't Virtual Fighter. We already talked.
Oh no, it was the Banjo.
Darkstalkers.
Darkstalkers.
They were
yeah.
Darkstalker. Banjo-Kazooie was on there.
Banjo-Kazooie.
That's another game
that was one of yours, right? That was one of your favorites, wasn't it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I didn't play it on Nintendo 64.
Oh, you didn't?
Didn't own it on Nintendo 64 at all because when that game came out, I think that was around the time where I was probably playing more like Saturn, PlayStation, and I don't know when did Banjo-Kazooie come out? It didn't come out.
It was like 90. It was like 90. Yeah.
It came out in 98. I was like, I was playing other stuff.
It was like 97, 98 ish.
And
if I recall,
I'm playing it now though because I bought the Rare Replay, and the Rare Replay came with 30 games that were rare games.
I need to get that thing actually,
dude. Retro Otaku is a shout out to Retro Otaku. They're here and they're not paying us at all because they're not sponsored, but they're a really good video game store. I saw on their Instagram they had a copy for that going for $8.
Nice.
Okay,
$8.95.
Complete.
I'd assume it's complete.
Better be complete.
I mean,
I thought all of it was download anyway. Though.
Well, a lot of them are the stuff that were remade, like Conker's, Banjo 1 and 2. Those are download.
Okay.
But then there's a lot of them that's still on
disc. I got you.
So
I'll get it because that was one that like when the Xbox One came out, it was like, you know what, that looks kind of interesting. I probably should. And then they decided that they were going to announce that there was 2 Xbox Ones coming in the future.
Like,
real quick on Banjo, like playing it now. I think it's just an okay because it's a collectathon and it's not like Mario 64 collectathon. There's way too much shit to collect in this Banjo-Kazooie game. And it's not a bad platformer, but it's in my list to complete.
You should speed run it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's in my list to complete. So you guys, if you are subscribed to our channel and you care to see me stream it, I will be streaming it. But right now, the game that is going to be being streamed is Super Mario Sunshine.
I thought you was doing Mario 3D World. So
I beat Mario 3D World. Oh. I was just playing them because I found out there was extra level. After you beat the game, more levels open up. And I was like, okay.
Oh, man.
So I kind of want to go through and play them. But at the same, like, you'll see me play that one. You'll see me play quite a few things. But the game that I'm going to try to focus on the beat is Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
All right. What about Darkstalkers?
Well, John P said he wants Darkstalkers made like Street Fighter 5.
I wish they would.
Something about Darkstalkers having that charm of being, 2D, a 2D cell shaded fighter. I don't know how it will work, how it would look, or how it would be
interesting.
play.
Darkstalkers is the game that introduced chain combos into Street Fighter.
Yeah,
That's true.
So there's a lot that could be done.
They've been.
There's a lot to revisit with Darkstalkers.
But weren't we doing chain combos a little bit with a few of the characters, even in Street Fighter 2 a little bit?
No.
Combos were a mistake in Street Fighter. Everybody knows that. But
and they just kind of left it in and tweaked it.
Darkstalkers came out before Alpha because Alpha is where chain combos became a big part of the meta for a lot of people because a lot of people didn't play Darkstalkers. The only thing that I'm glad Capcom finally did after 6,000 years was they gave us a new Morgan sprite.
Well, you talking about that Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
It did take them forever.
Yep. So
yeah.
Oh, that was a pretty good show. So I guess we're gonna move over to the poll.
Yeah. It's poll time, people. Let's get ready. Random.
All right.
Keep it going in the
Keep
chat.
it going
though.
in the chat, dude.
Random fandom.
All right, Dado, you got the poll from this week ready for us?
No, I was been trying to say that I've been getting a lot of circles going on. I don't know what the internet is with me.
A lot of circles.
Yeah, things are
Circles.
circling, and I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know if we're being taxed right now with the internet, but it's just circling. I've been trying to
Okay.
circle it for a while. Oh, there it is. Finally.
You got it?
Hooray.
Yay.
Technical difficulties averted.
Well, let's see if I can find it now because now
Should
it's
be-
never
should
at
be
the
an
top.
announcement at the top.
You think it would, but it's never at the top.
we Look at all announcements. It'll
Where's
say,
that top?
It'll
Where's
say
the top? Where's
that's
the top?
where it says look at all
Where?
announcements.
Where?
Go to the latest announcement.
mean this
and
one?
say yes.
It's,
and it'll say
it's like trying to
see
get your
all
granddad to
You
use
mean
a
that one right
computer
there?
for the first time. What's up with you?
It'll say see all
It's like
announcements.
You
click
wanted
it,
me to
click,
click on
and
something
drag.
else. And this thing
Drag.
is just
Hold the mouse and drag
I'll
it.
start calling you right, exactly. We'll start calling you the old
the
Daddy
old
Coochie in a minute.
You're like, huh? I've been hanging out with old people too much. It's rubbing off. Huh?
You still need help? You still need help?
Wow, this is hilarious.
Morph into his grandpa.
Wow, come on.
Hey, I don't know why it's taking so long. I don't know what's going on right here, huh? I mean, what's happening?
Jeez.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Well,
I will try.
We
and pull it up
apologize
then. Yeah,
to those
we
out there.
apologize. We do apologize. For,
Yeah, because whatever it is, it's not
See all.
it's not loading. Like,
so I
look at
have
this. Look
it.
at this. Look at this.
I have it.
all
I
right, so
have it.
Kenshiro
I
says
have
she
it.
has it.
I have
Look
it.
at this.
So yeah, I see
Close some
that.
of them
I
tabs.
see. So anyway, shows getting out of control. Yeah, this show's getting out of control. All right, so we asked everybody out there in the Culture Junkie Nation to vote on the poll concerning whether or not they wanted to see more Snyder Cut like announcements made for other films. And this is all based off of course, what happened last week when HBOmax, announced right before they launched that they were going to put the Snyder Cut onto there. Oh, look at this. Now he's got it. He's got it on his phone, so he wants me to turn it back over to him.
This computer is acting very stupid. You go finish with your rant.
Are you running Chrome over there?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Man, you open 2 tabs in Chrome, you need 64 megs of grams of RAM.
Die.
Yeah.
Right off
Yeah,
the
'cause
bat.
I do have
64
the-
gigs needed.
I'm monitoring
Anyway.
all of our stuff.
Okay.
YouTube, Twitch,
All right.
blah blah blah. It's
So,
acting stupid.
To basically just sum up, we asked everybody to vote whether they wanted to see more Snyder Cut stuff or if they didn't at all. So what are the results?
There's
that
not
you
many of them, so we're going to run through this really quick. The last one that people seem to care about is J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker. We got
One vote?
one vote saying they want to see that one. The Thing 2011 pilot version. We don't need no more Thing. What are we talking about? The Thing.
I think they were doing
John
I think they were
Carpenter's.
doing like a TV show or
Oh,
a
no,
TV
no, no,
series.
no. John Carpenter's
The
Thing.
thing
That's
ended
it.
exactly the way it needed to end.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't need any other one. And that got 2 votes. I never saw any 2011 The Thing. John Carpenter's one is literally the only one. I want to see the first one just because it exists and I like to see it. John Carpenter's great. Number 2, David Ayer.
David Ayers.
Suicide Squad. Don't care. Me,
Well,
whatever.
hold on.
Unless it's like that freaking cartoon where there's some violence in it.
Well, who knows? But here's what happened with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was the exact opposite of what happened with the original Star Wars. Suicide Squad died in the edit versus being saved by the edit. So they let that trailer company that did the original trailer that everybody was all hyped over. They were like, "Oh, y'all are good. We're gonna let you edit the film." Like, no. Being able to edit a trailer and giving you all the sizzle reel,
The hype.
does not mean that you can tell a cohesive story. That just means that you are good at bringing out the best moments and putting them to music.
Yeah.
Right.
And the one that was voted on by the most of you guys out there in the Culture Junkie Nation is none. We don't want these.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of people don't care. Now I fall into that camp where you put that movie
Thank
out there.
you. Yes.
You put it out there.
Slow
Should have put it
Cap
out
was
there
right.
that way the first time. If you put it out there the first time like that, then it's fine. I understand why they do director's cuts because a lot of times you get a director in there and the stupid studio is
Gets in the way,
overpowering them,
sure,
gets
yeah.
in the way. Like Richard Donner, from my understanding, that probably would have been a better movie.
Well, Richard
had they
Donner
let
got
him go.
fired. He just
Yeah, there you go.
straight got fired.
So-
The original treatment of
Yeah.
Superman was written by Mario Puzo, who also wrote The
The
Godfather.
Godfather.
So he wasn't gonna write nothing short.
Right.
So that's why Superman originally got filmed back to back with Superman in parts 1 and 2, and then Donner got fired before he got to complete.
And I
2.
still don't understand why the Stalkines did that. That's
because
makes
they're
no
the
sense.
soul kinds.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're
Yeah, that's true.
strange.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. All right, so we got 2 minutes.
Canon films,
Yeah,
man.
so we got 2 minutes.
Man.
Actually, we can really just kind of morph this right into the main event. What do you guys say?
Well, this is the main event.
Hey, this is the main event,
if
but we
y'all
kinda
wanted
need
to
to
hit
hit
the
the
main
bumper.
event bumper
Yeah,
button.
let's go
Y'all
ahead.
can continue to the thing down in the bottom on the chat.
Right.
We about to hit the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main event.
So obviously, today's main event is all about the Snyder Cut and kind of that surprise announcement and what it kind of could possibly mean moving forward. Is it has a dangerous precedent possibly been set by HBOmax. Now, of course, today I say that, and today the HBOmax president comes out and says, no, a precedent has not been set. But you kind of can't put that genie back in the bottle after you've already done something like this. So what's your opinion on these things? Fall of Marvel, what's your take on it? Because we didn't really get to hear from you in the last segment.
Man, look, it in a lot of ways it does kind of open up a can of worms with this, especially since it's been like something that they've been drudging up since even before Justice League officially released. They've been, clamoring for it. Zack Snyder keeps coming back with, storyboards and other kind of stuff, or how he would have written it or whatever. And that's fine. Don't get me wrong, that's fine. And I understand that the studio interference and stuff, whatever. I get all of that. It's like on one hand I get it, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, we've been about 3 years, almost 3 years out from when Justice League dropped. And pretty much at this point, it might be 2.5.
It seems longer. I'm just saying it seems longer.
It does, because I know whatever. Because
maybe it's this incessant talking about the Snyder Cut that made this.
It was 2017. It was 2017.
All right. Mm-hmm.
So yes. But yeah, it's roughly 2.5 years. 3 and at this point, a lot of people have already moved on from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, okay, look, we took what we did like from it, and made all this the Henry Cavill mustache jokes, all of that. We've done all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
We're over and done. We're over it at this point. So it's like, okay, the only people for me, it's like, who really want this are people who were like really hardcore, just hardcore DC fans or just hardcore Snyder fans. And it's like, and they are the ones that are really wanted this. And it's just like, okay, look, we've already taken our W's with Wonder Woman. We've taken our W's with Aquaman. We've also taken a W for Shazam, even though like it didn't perform as well as the others, but a lot of people liked it. So, taking our W's there, taking our W's with the Joker, which doesn't technically tie in anything, but I'm pretty sure they're going to want to try to do it later on. But not gonna bring up Harley Quinn because that you kind of take it or leave that.
I was entertained by it, Harley Quinn.
A lot of people were, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But as it stands, the movie didn't perform very well.
Yeah. Well.
So it's like, aside from that, it's just like I'm at this point where it's just like, okay, you guys need to have wins for future projects. One of the things you guys have really riding on you right now to be really good is Wonder Woman 84. I feel like they should be putting more of their energy toward that, which they have been, and something other beyond that, because they've already gotten to the point where they've moved beyond Snyder's vision at this point. So it's like, okay, if y'all want to do this just to kind of just put that notch in there and be like, okay, we're going to do this, and then after that, whatever. But I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking, like, it's to the point where I feel that, in a way, I think Warner Brothers themselves were kind of done with it. They handled it poorly, but I think they were done with it. But honestly, I really feel, and I said this earlier, that AT&T came along and flex their parent company muscles and just decided it was like, okay, we're going to give you the money to go ahead and do this because we, whatever, because there's been talk about it that they have been doing this because there's been a lot of push from AT&T with this, and Warner Brothers is like focused on stuff that they already have down the pipe. Like they're pushing other stuff like Tenet and their other stuff, and it's like AT&T is the one that's pushing all this stuff, like even trying to say like, hey, we could bring Ben Affleck back or all this or whatever. And
and you know what, you bring up a very good point. You bring up a very, very good point, and I think you're onto something, because I think what they saw was that when they initially announced HBO Max and some of the quote unquote exclusives that they had under their belt, the Looney Tunes, the Seinfeld, Friends, Doctor Who, and getting like the Doom Patrol or even this Green Lantern TV series, none of that stuff was moving the needle for a lot of people. So they got desperate and they said, hey, we're going to throw a Hail Mary and say we're going to bring the Snyder Cut, and that gave them some buzz. Obviously, it didn't really help them in their initial subscription because they went ahead and said, yeah, we're not going to give you the Snyder Cut till a year after we launch. But it's coming.
Well, realistically, the Snyder Cut owes its existence to COVID-19. Because if COVID-19 hadn't have happened, then you would have had actors that would have been too busy. You would have had a director that would have been too busy to put any effort, time, or energy towards it. So now it's like, okay, cool. Go back, edit what you can. We'll do some reshoots. It'll be ready to go by next year. So COVID-19 is to thank for COVID.
I'll buy that for $1.
Snyder Cut.
Right.
Also, on the sense with director's cuts, here's why I like director's cuts. Because like Dido said, studios do get involved and they do mess things up. But not beyond that, the MPAA gets into movies and messes them up before they get released too. Because you get, little parts that you have to get cut out to make sure you get a particular rating. And of course, that is also something that the studio steps in and wants to have happen. And you get certain things that, like, for example, RoboCop. RoboCop was going to be N17X. Actually, it would have been X because N17 didn't exist yet. There's no way in the world that movie would have got released, like ever. So in order for them to release the film, they obviously had to cut down on the violence and certain things. But seeing what the director really wanted to do shows just how gruesome and violent that old Detroit was. And I think that was very necessary to the story. For a lot of people, they might, oh, that's gratuitous violence. No, he's showing that the people in this city are just animals and they just don't care about anything. And so certain directors' cuts work. Daredevil is another example with Ben Affleck. Doesn't make the movie that much better, but it at least
helps.
Fleshes out some stuff about Matt Murdock.
It improves on the story structure.
Right. So certain directors' cuts actually work better. Now, there's times when you have extended cuts, like Highlander Endgame.
I've never seen it, so I don't
It's because that movie was literally the time when you thought that they were going to, put in all that crap that they put in from that fake trailer. It was just like, all y'all did was just give me a longer version of the crappy movie that y'all came out with to begin with. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Right. And I think
So-
there's a lot of people that, even though the Snyder Cut itself isn't going to technically be a theatrical movie cut, right? Because the rumor is out there, and it's still rumor, it hasn't been confirmed, that they're actually going to just do it as episodic releases to kind of lock a lot of people in to periodic content similar to The Mandalorian or other things like that, instead of being an actual movie where they could just watch and then drop the service, right? I don't think that, and we already said it's going to be a completely different movie, and Snyder already said, oh, well, Darkseid is going to be in it. Oh, well, you're going to get more nightmare scenes in it. Okay, is this really going to improve the movie? Like, is it going to make it better? I mean,
it depends.
yeah.
Because here's the thing. The way he wrote that movie, he wanted it to be 3 hours long, almost, maybe even close to 4.
Right.
And it's like, okay, nobody's sitting through that. Nobody's, we sat through Titanic because I sat through Titanic because, damn it, I wanted to watch the ship crash. But like, most people
You
do
were
not
waiting
want-
for
no.
a while, weren't you?
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like most people, like Endgame and Infinity War are exceptions because, damn it, you build up all this time. I'm gonna sit there and watch the whole thing. I'm good.
Right.
Justice League was kind of like, I ain't sitting through 3 hours of Justice League unless it's good. And the 2 hour one they had was chopped to hell because, again, it was two directors' styles coming together and they did not mesh. So I want to see what he had in mind, because a lot of people said that Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is very much like what the Snyder Cut was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So if he can pull that off, then sure, it might be worth it. It might be, and again, it's going to be some rough parts in there because it's going to be reshoots. It's going to be, lower budget CGI. I mean, so there's going to be some issues with it. But if he can pull together a interesting story, bring Darkseid in, and actually, bring back black suit Superman, have him turned evil or whatever the hell that he's going to do, that could be interesting. But
we shall have to see.
I got a quick question before we change over. Is it true that this Snyder Cut that's coming, it's not going to be a long movie? It's going to be 30-minute episodes?
I just said that. I just said that's going to be.
No, they said that the rumor is. They said that the rumor was supposed to be. It's probably going to be split up to maybe like up to 4 parts or whatever, like probably similar to how they did Hateful Eight on Netflix, because like they have the extended cut where they split it up in like 4 different sections.
I got you.
So they may do it that way, because I think like they said like it's supposed to be like up like 4 hours or something.
Okay, so if
I'm
that
going to
happens,
say this. I'm quoting a character in the movie Half Baked. Boo! Boo this man!
Boo this man!
They gotta try to keep the people in there somehow, because I guarantee you, once the part 4 comes out, it's gonna be on somebody's.
Subscription's gonna drop.
It's not even just that; it's gonna be on somebody's GeoCities torrent.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And that whole thing is gonna be cut together.
Didn't we already say there's gonna be a supercut?
Oh no, there is. You know what's crazy?
Right.
You know what's crazy? Somebody's working on a supercut of the entire MCU.
Wow.
What?
No,
And here's the thing. They're doing it in perfect chronological order. So it literally starts all the way back with Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it jumps forward to like, what's her name? To Captain Marvel.
Uh-huh.
Then once you get into present time, they're going to edit it where like, okay, you got Iron Man saying I am Iron Man. He's going to find whatever was supposed to happen around that exact same time and literally just push it all through as one long. Now here's the thing. From what I saw, the edit looks like it was on a Premiere timeline. Adobe Premiere has a 24-hour limit on a timeline. So they're going to have to break it up into parts, because you can't. And even still, if you export out a 24-hour timeline,
oh man,
that's man.
No, like what?
So
like,
you gotta have like a whole server.
Exactly.
Thing with
I
that.
don't want to see that.
Yeah, somebody on, I think it was Twitter or Instagram, put out an entire list of all the scenes in true chronology of like, you start here, you watch to this point, and they put it up by time stamp. They're like, watch to this point, move to this movie, watch to this. I was like, dude,
wow,
that's dedication.
Yeah, it is. I'd love to see it.
Hell no.
Yeah, I want to see it. I just want. I'm curious.
Have fun with that.
I'm curious as hell now. Anyway, the power is yours. To everybody out there in the chat, let's talk about what you want to talk about, whether it be this or something else.
The power is yours.
Guess that button was kind of sticky. Anyway,
what if you didn't drop the stream deck? I'm just saying.
Oh, is that what happened?
Oh, Butterfingers, man.
That's what he says happened. Anyway,
I got a witness.
That's what he says. That's what he says. Is what happened.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway,
close your fingers when somebody hands you something.
Yeah. Okay. So continuing the conversation about the whole Snyder Cut thing. Look, I never ever thought this was ever going to happen in the first place, because it was so unlikely that they were going to drop the kind of money that it would take to finish this thing. I literally thought Warner Brothers was just through with it. Like, they were just through.
They were.
Yeah, they were just through with it. It's like, why would they want to even? And then you go down the path of, okay, this isn't going to change anything. The Snyderverse DCEU, that's dead. They're not going to go back to that.
Okay, here's what you have to understand. You have to take off the fan glasses and put on the businessman glasses. The Snyder Cut is going to make money. That's all that even matters in this situation. The only reason companies ever do anything is, we could probably make some money off of this. That's what this is. This could probably push our subscription service to a higher amount of subscriptions because people want to see this thing. It's the same reason video games get sequels. It's the same reason everything ever gets put out anywhere. It's money.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't matter. Dude, it's not the Donner Cut wouldn't exist if it wasn't for money.
I mean, that's
People
true.
wanted to
Like,
people wanted to see it. They made it. That's just how this works.
I don't know. I don't know. To me, I find it pointless. That's all. Go ahead, Fallen.
The thing is, what's interesting about like the Donner Cut is like, again, like we had roughly 30 years after the fact before we finally got it, and it was like, was it like one of the first Blu-ray releases of it? If I recall, I'm not really sure.
That was the draw. The Donner Cut came out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Right.
And it was
so
one of the
like,
first times any of the
so I'm
superheroes came out on
thinking,
Blu-ray.
right. So like, I'm thinking like for that being the time, because pretty much everybody's idea of when they think of Superman 2, they think about the original cut, and that's what we've had for 30 years. That's what we've accustomed to. We knew that. So to know that there was like this other cut, and like, you know, they're converting a lot of stuff to Blu-ray and all of that, that would be a really great opportune time to be like, hey, did you guys know there was a different cut of this? Like, and we converted it on high definition. Oh shit, let's get into that. I'm thinking like that was a really good opportune moment, and they did make money off of it, and that's great. It's just when we look at this with Justice League, it's like it's kind of weird because again, the original perception of it, and because again, we've already said this ad nauseum, studios get involved, muck some stuff up. But it's like, dude, like it's like, are they really going to invest more money into rehashing this movie yet again? Because they've already like poured more money into it with reshoots while it was still in pre-production and whatnot. So it's just, I mean, not pre-production, but while they were making a damn movie. So it's like, it's just like wondering, like, it's like, would they invest that much money in this like, still, it was 2.5 years ago, but again, a lot of people have already moved on, and it's like, okay, I mean, not enough, but I mean, for the majority, a lot of people have kind of moved on from it. So like, the only people who are really going to get into it more likely are probably going to be hardcore fans, because
doesn't matter. Smart companies never leave money on the table.
I mean, that's true. Like, I'm not going to say this like just don't, just for the sake of it. It's just, maybe it's just me. I'm just thinking like, okay, maybe like if we find a way to maximize like the reception for this, if we're going to do it, then fine. But like, again, this is mostly just made for like the hardcore fan base.
Here's the thing.
Which is fine.
All they need is 10 million people to sign up for HBOmax, and this thing's paid for itself 5 times over. So it's not really a big gamble. It's just put the money on the table, see if it makes anything, and then roll the dice.
That's true. But it's like, also like, again, with them just launching this, we still have to wait and see if like that many people are even gonna like,
they got a year,
because
like you said, it's only been out for a week.
They do, but like a lot of people I know aren't even going to use their trials until the Snyder Cut drops. And to be honest, I'm one of them, because like I have no reason to get this, because like you pretty much already made that point earlier, GQs, that a lot of the stuff that they offer already own on physical media. So there's no reason for me to sign up and drop $15 a month on a service for stuff that I majorly already have, especially with already so many other options out there that people have been subscribed to for 2+ years or more. And it's just like, and it's like, even at the launch part of it, it's like they don't really have that. I mean, it's like they got stuff to offer, but again, with you already owning a lot of the stuff or whatever, like they don't really have anything exclusive that's worth getting right away at launch, unless you just really just want to retract everything.
Well, they're not ready. Marcus Pryor said that it was interesting that Spawn got a director's cut, which it did. But speaking of Spawn, some people, Wolverine, Solid X brought up that Michael Jai White wants to play Green Lantern, John Stewart.
At this point, I say let him.
That could be.
At this point, I say let him.
But yeah, I don't see any reason not to. I do think they'll go younger though. I that's just me. I think they'll go younger.
Well, if Megatron,
Hey, what did Uncle Neil
Neil
say?
Well,
What did Uncle Neil say?
Neil Adams said that Megatron
Yeah.
looks exactly like what he envisioned Jon Stewart should look like. So I would have been.
You
all
sure
You
over
should
did.
have
that,
been all up on that because
Like, we got that. We still got that on tape, right?
more than likely.
Yeah, we got that on tape. So we should send that to Hollywood. It's
Look.
like, hey, Hollywood, listen to
Hey.
the man.
Hey, GQ, you got some nice camera equipment, man. You better help that man get an audition tape ready.
yeah. I mean, like they were saying, the creator of at one of the Comic Cons literally said that to his face that you look like exactly who I
were gonna be.
exactly.
Yeah,
The guy who created Neil Adams,
Neil Adams,
said
yep.
it to his face.
yeah,
So
yeah. We shoot. So we got that on tape. So here's some other topics, right? So Mr. Rigor Mortis was like, Final Fight should get a remaster with a new sequel.
ain't happening.
Now
'Cause it's
that was
Capcom.
one of the I think that was a poll somebody put in there. Like, what should get a remaster or a remake
Yeah.
like Streets of Rage?
Yeah,
And we have Final Fight. We have Golden
Golden
Axe. What else was there? I'm trying to remember.
somebody put in Double Dragon, but they already
Double
did
Dragon,
Double Dragon.
yeah.
Double
Yeah,
Dragon
Double
had
Dragon
me
Neon
on.
was
did.
good.
Yeah.
So
but-
I'd like to see Golden Axe. I shouldn't say it that way. I would like to see a Final Fight because I do like the original Final Fight. But because Final Fight 2 and 3 exist, I have a feeling that they're not going to be able to nail down what made Final Fight great. Because Final Fight 2 and 3 did not. I mean, they were fun games, but for whatever reason, it was trying to copy
Rocky was the
Streets of
only good
Rage.
thing about
Right.
good about
And then
Final Fight
plus-
Well, DBL King is right though. Final Fight did do Final Fight Street
Was
Rise.
that really a
Yes, it
remake?
was.
I think that
Yeah.
was more like a sequel.
It was
wasn't
kind
it?
of a weird sequel.
It
and a
was
weirdness.
it was kind of like a weird sequel that like was, I don't know, like a lot of people kind of forgot about it. So it was just like I barely knew about it like when it came out, and then afterwards like I never heard hide or hair about it. Like
Did I ever
it's
pick up Streetwise? I don't think I did.
I don't know. John
Yeah.
P says a good.
it wasn't
opportunity
a
for
very good
Castlevania
game from what I
movie.
heard.
I heard it's not.
Yeah, I think it would be a good opportunity. Although, you
And
know
they
what?
did make a Final Fight fighting
You
game on
know-
the Saturn.
You know, I
They
get
did.
into this argument a couple of times with, one particular person on Facebook who says that that certain things that are TV properties deserve having a movie. I don't know. For me, I like Castlevania so much as a show. I'd rather keep it as a show. I don't think the movie
Yeah.
is going to give me anything better than what the TV show's already given me. Especially
Yeah.
in animated form. I just don't see it.
Depends on who plays
I-
Simon.
It depends
Would-
on
would
that.
they
Like
start off
now,
with
if they
Simon?
wanted, if they wanted to do like different story, like do some stories in TV format and other stories in movie format, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Because it's certain stories that like you don't have to just stretch out like on the length of a TV season, and it's like you can condense that in hour 45 minutes up to 2 hours in a movie and make a competent movie
Yeah.
on one of the stories, because like there's tons of stories within the Castlevania mythos that they can pull from,
Yeah.
and it's like they could probably use one of the ones that's not as involved and they could condense that within like a regular runtime movie. So
You could do Castlevania
and-
1 as a movie.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm saying. It's like I do think that could actually work. But I do hear what you're saying, like Hishir, because it's like if something works so well as a TV show,
Right.
it's kind of like does it really need a movie
Right.
at this point?
Because
But
the
it's like-
guy I was arguing with, right? He was saying that
Mm-hmm.
he was like, oh well, Daredevil needs a movie. I was like, no, he doesn't. Like, why would you trade a 2.5 hour movie for the TV show where you get like 12 or 14 hours worth of content
You get better character development in
and
a
better
TV
character
show.
development on
Yeah.
the TV show? Why would you trade that just to have a movie? Like, because
for
you
right
think,
now,
I wouldn't
for
do that.
right now, for right now, Daredevil works as a show. For right now.
Depends
Now,
on
if
the
they
property.
wanted to pause, if they wanted to like, okay, we know MCU is getting Daredevil back in later on this year.
about 6 months, yeah.
So right. So if they wanted to be like, okay, we're gonna do the show again, but what we're gonna do is that we're gonna put you in one of these movies first,
I'd
and
be fine
then
with
we'll
that.
do the TV show.
I'd be fine with that.
Now, if they wanted to do that, and it's like, okay, cool, but like it's not like necessarily like we have to, because like it would be kind of cool if they have these shows and then in like 1 year they may want to pause the season in favor of doing a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then like once like enough time has passed, then they start the show back up. or something like if they wanted to do that. But of course, it's Disney; they can do it if they wanted to.
Exactly.
So,
here's
so
what
like
here's what I actually see
yeah.
happening. Right when Marvel finally gets Daredevil back in 6 months, I fully expect that the series disappears off of Netflix, pops right over to Hulu, and on that same day that it pops over, Feige shows up with Charlie Cox and says, "Hey, we're bringing Daredevil back soon, but to tide you over, here's the rest of the show right here on Hulu. You can watch it, and then about a year from now, you're gonna get new episodes of Daredevil. That'll be awesome. That'd be awesome. Speaking of Marvel and X-Men, earlier in the chat, Mr. Rigor Mortis actually said he was like, this would be the perfect time for them to do, with all the bullshit going on in 2020. I think it's time for a new X-Men movie, one that doesn't hold back on the topic of hate. I think that would actually be perfect for the
We've
times.
been overdue for that.
Yeah, way overdue. Marcus Superior Pryor is like, why won't they give us a decent live action Batman show? Because Warner Brother has this stupid contract or clause that Batman can only appear in movies. He cannot appear in TV. It's the dumbest shit ever.
But that just must mean he's on this tier right here, and Superman.
Well, yeah, and that's what I don't understand.
Here.
It's like, it's the stupidest shit ever. It's like, it is.
Based on what, though?
Based on what?
Based on what? Why is it stupid?
It's stupid because, okay,
Batman started out as a TV show.
Batman started out as a super popular TV show.
It was a campy TV show.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He started out, the reason he even exploded in popularity like that was because of that 60s show.
We know that.
After that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't had another TV show, not cartoon-wise, since then. So you're going to give us Gotham, which is not quite Batman. You're going to give us Birds of Prey, which had Batman in it for all of 2 seconds in the intro, and then nothing. And then you get old Kevin Conroy Batman in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, but we don't get a proper Batman TV show. And I think the world is long overdue for such a thing.
No suit. No suit.
Because why not?
Okay.
Again, why not?
All right, here's why not. For one, Batman as a TV show needs a person that can be both Bruce Wayne, Batman, and the in-between that he is.
Yeah, okay.
You need a great detective. Need somebody that can pull off a great detective and be a great martial artist. They suck at doing that in all of the movies so far. So what makes you think they're going to do it on TV?
Fair point.
That's a fair point.
That's a very fair point.
Batman doesn't have, yes, he has the gadgets and all that, but he does not have the flash. He doesn't fly. He doesn't go at super speed. All of his stories are going to be centered around the man himself. And if you can't get a competent actor to be him, the show is going to suck anyway. Look at Batwoman rather. They had what they thought was a good person, and she walked away from the show. So unless you can cast a perfect Batman, that show is going to always fail because, yes, in the 60s when it was campy and people thought comic books were for kids, it was fine. You could be silly and all that. People know what Batman is about now. So you can't get away with that garbage.
That's a very fair point. The other thing to consider is that the production costs of doing a Batman-like show probably would be astronomical because of, the Batmobile, the gadgets,
it doesn't have to
and
be.
The other stuff. I think it would be.
It wouldn't. Here's why. Because if you do Batman and you do him properly, look at the cartoon, for example. Now, granted, it's anime, you can draw whatever you want to draw. Right. But if you look at that, all of that stuff was basically him being a cop that could fight. That's literally all that was. You saw the Batmobile occasionally, but he didn't rely on the Batmobile.
Sure.
He was out on the streets, pounding pavement.
I was more or less talking about like Clayface, Mr. Freeze, and
but again, that's like every TV
that's
show
something
that's
they could build up to.
Yeah, that's
something
stuff.
they would have to build up to, like because the thing is, like, look, if you are going to have like you said, you're going to have a proper Batman show. The thing is, obviously, you want to start off safe to some degree, so don't put people in there that you have to spend the budget on CGI for.
Right.
So no Clayface, no Man Bat, no Mr. Freeze yet. Because obviously, Mr. Freeze has to be able to at least look the part. Otherwise, he's going to look stupid.
And he has a freeze.
So it's like you have to start off like practical the first probably season 2, depending on how it does.
If you
It's
look
like
at if you look at Batman's Rogues Gallery, you've got a ton of people that could be in makeup or just dressed really funny.
right. And it's like, even with that, it's like they could pull off hell, they could even just pull off with him just being Batman without a damn car yet. Like, as far as
Oh
if they
hell
wanted
no.
to.
No.
It'd be
If he's
No,
a billionaire that
I'm
doesn't
saying
have
they
a car,
could.
that man has made some really bad investments.
Well, I'm just saying, like, some liberties have been taken with other shows already. I'm just saying that
if you're gonna do
may be a
Batman,
liberty
you can't
that
do
they could
liberties.
take.
You got to do it right. And we know that Batman has the Batmobile. He can have the Batjet if you really want to have it. But realistically, you have to have a person that can embody the detective, the fighter, and Bruce Wayne.
Right.
If you
Yes,
can't
you
do that,
Character-wise,
don't even bother.
yes.
That's
Character-wise, yes.
like I'm
That's
saying,
going to
so-
be, that's going to be like the big thing as far as getting the character right and just having that complexity that is Bruce Wayne, with having, like, basically like playing those different sides. You have the Batman, then you have the persona of the Playboy, and then like you have that conflict in between with, whatever. And and like you said before, in the movies, like, they don't quite get it as well. Like, they'll get close, but not even, whatever. So with a TV show, it's kind of like, I don't know. And it's like, even with Gotham, it's like, granted, we've been dealing with prepubescent Bruce Wayne, but it's still just like, okay, you guys are planting seeds with him there as a child, but again, Gotham kind of just went off the rails with everything, and we just started making like Batman Year One before the series was done, damn near.
Yeah.
So
HBO King brought up a good point. Calendar Man would be an interesting start.
It would be an interesting start.
Well,
You're right
actually,
about
I wouldn't
that.
even start with that. I would have Calendar Man be a recurring throughout the entire first season.
Calendar Man,
have
really?
them like do like a slow burn of the Long Halloween or something like that.
Something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, because the thing is, his whole thing is he kills on
holidays.
So if you literally have a ongoing subplot of
Yeah.
Calendar Man killing people, and he's
Right.
trying to track him down while
Handling
villain of the
these other
week or whatever
issues.
it's going to
Yeah.
be shows up. There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah, you could.
Zaz was handled best on Gotham.
He was. I like Zaz. Zaz was
If
great.
if they could succeed in making Calendar Man a really serious villain in the show, I would stay watching it until it's over. If
That's
they could
good.
pull
No,
that off.
Calendar Man would be a very interesting. If you haven't watched, if you haven't read The Long Halloween, I definitely recommend it. I think it's very interesting. Read
Dude,
Jeff
just-
Loeb, Tim Sale.
Just
very good stuff.
ask a man that did Snoke to be Calendar Man.
Oh, Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let him be Calendar Man.
Yeah,
that'll keep people
It'd
interested.
be good. All right, it's about that time to wrap up the show. Put the camera back on me, please. Is the camera back on me? I can't see us.
I don't know.
There you go.
There's
There's that face.
All right, cool. So it's time to wrap up the show. We want to thank everybody that was hanging out with us on Omelet, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook. Now that we kind of solved the whole UMG problem, welcome back. We had a very great time
Thank you
entertaining
for Twitter and
Thank you
Twitch.
for Twitter and I did say Twitter and Twitch. I
No,
did
you
say
didn't.
Twitch.
Not on purpose.
I did say
Omelet.
Twitch. I said Omelet, Twitch, and anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we're going to be expanding. So pretty soon, we're going to try and broadcast to Instagram TV as well. So however you like to get your Culture Junkies fix, we're gonna bring it to you. Next week's show kind of hit a snag. We were going to talk about the PlayStation 5 press conference where they were going to reveal some games, which originally was supposed to happen tomorrow. Obviously, that has been pushed back. So make sure that you subscribe to us on or follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook to catch up on what's going to be the latest updates for the next episode of Culture Junkies Live, which is going to be next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Any final comments, guys, before we check out?
King to Kim, congratulations on the new house, sir. Appreciate you watching us and your new house.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Thank you
Congrats.
very
Alright,
much.
yeah.
Man. Congratulations, sir. Big ups to you. Big ups to you.
And check out that Patreon, guys. If you love what we're doing out there, 100% seriously, check out our Patreon. See if you want to support us in that way. And
Well, they
we got
want
a
to
lot.
support us. I'm sure they do.
It'd
We'd
be
love
awesome
to
to
do
support
more.
us in many more ways as well. It'd be great if you guys go out there. I mean, we will be doing a lot more content for you guys out there because we do
we
this
are.
because of you, and we love to do this with you guys. So, want to see more stuff?
Yep.
Hey, hit us up.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off now. Let you enjoy the rest of your week. We hope that you were entertained by this hour, 15-minute plus video of Culture Junkies Live for my friends, the GQ for the I Think I'm Good, Daidokuji for Fallen Marvel. I'm Kenshiro. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.